A prophet has no honor in his own country. So we hear in today's gospel. It would be easy to take that as just a commonplace of social psychology. It would be saying then, geniuses are not recognized easily by those who grew up alongside them. So long as there's somebody who remembers changing your nappy, you will not strike awe into absolutely everybody. But in the context of the coming of the Messiah, the statement that a prophet has no honor in his own country surely means more than that. The prologue to St. John's Gospel tells us that the Word, now incarnate as Jesus Christ, came to his own, and his own received him not. We naturally tend to think of this in terms of the response, or lack of it, from the Jewish people. The tendency to take Israel, or rather the majority of Israel, as the archetypal case of rejecting God in Jesus Christ appears very early in Christian history for obvious reasons. Hostility to the infant church was deeply traumatic for Jews who had accepted Jesus. And indeed, to begin with, it was traumatic also for Gentile Christians who had earlier accepted the sacred books of Israel. But if one goes back to that Johannine prologue, it's not necessarily evident that when the evangelist speaks about the Word's own people rejecting him, that it's Jews, first and foremost, that he has in mind. Because we have to ask, who for St. John are the Word's own? The Greek for the divine word is hologos. And the Greek for rational human beings is hoilogikoi, those who belong with the logos, because they are themselves logikos, endowed with reason, users of language, those who can register meaning, unlike the animals, and therefore are so placed that they should have recognized the incarnate Logos when, with his truth, his goodness, and his beauty, he appeared in their midst. In that case, if that's right, the cause of scandal is that the Word was rejected not simply by Jews, but by his own rational creatures, those who were made after his image, those who were made to his likeness. And this is, in effect, the main understanding of this text that the Church has worked with. She soon experienced for herself that the worst form of such rejection of the incarnate Word was apostasy. That is, the voluntary repudiation of the gospel, or rejection of the faith, by those men and women, overwhelmingly non-Jews, who had once accepted it. And indeed, why that happens is still a baffling question. Why is God's self-revelation in Christ and the Church seen by some as the most important thing in the world, and by others as unpersuasive and even sterile? We can answer up to a point on an ordinary human level. We can say, well, the causes of lapsation are secularism, consumerism, hedonism on the side of the world, and on the side of the church, the lack of a dynamic corporate Catholic life and culture. But we mustn't fail to bring into the discussion the words of the Logos incarnate himself on the topic. The words he uttered when he said that no one can come to him, no one can lastingly come to him, unless the Father draws him or her, unless the Father draws them. There is a mystery here, a mystery of what we call electing grace. Our role is not to fathom it, because its explanation won't be forthcoming until all ages have run their course. Our role is to make sure that we at least are among those who, drawn by the Father, not only come to the Word initially, but continue to receive him as he comes to us.